What'd they say?
That I'll be able to walk again.
Yeah, look at me. You're gonna be fine. Okay? But the hard thing is, it doesn't feel like it's gonna be fine, okay? It's really, really painful, but it's gonna get a lot better.
My wife works at the medical center, and she would come home with all these stories about her patients who were mostly uninsured, who lived really hard lives, but always had these amazing stories of courage. Highland is a place that is just this remarkable turnstile of humanity. You see these people coming through the doors, and the first place they usually go is the emergency room waiting room. I started thinking, how am I going to tell all these people's stories? How am I going to tell the entire breadth of this place? And that's when I really began thinking about tools to make those stories not just a one-way story, but a two-way interaction between the rest of these waiting rooms that were out there. That's when I began to see the potential for taking these stories and putting them out into a virtual space, and then sort of bringing them back into the physical space via sort of interactive LCD displays that we could put into waiting rooms where people could see these stories and experience that they're not alone. These people have hours, on their hands, or sometimes they're for 14 hours.
It's the last stop, really, in my mind, on the people that, have no other option, no means of paying for it. The difference between life and death.
Nobody's ever standing still expecting to just be shot. Nobody's ever braced for that.
For some reason, rich people don't want regular people to be happy.
Our core idea was to take this waiting room and turn it into an expression room, and to use various means to do that.
Some of the technology that's old but is being used in new ways, like mobile phones.
We'll have a display in the waiting room where if you text a message to a particular number, it will show up on that display. It's anonymous, so you can do this without outing yourself to the other people in the waiting room. It's immediately connecting with other people. It's immediately giving their story a sense of importance.
We're not trying to necessarily heal people, but give some people a sense of lessening of the pain of that moment and that feeling of isolation.
There's a kiosk where people can get directly online, go to our website, or they can upload their video story right then and there.
When I had the accident, like I'm just 17 years old, and just to think about you're not gonna walk the rest of your life, it's a really difficult thing to just know. And when the doctor told me that, I feel like dying.
I really started thinking about social media technology, Twitter, Facebook, all these things. A lot of these tools and platforms, the population in this waiting room, no idea. They have no idea. So I was just intrigued with the idea of bringing these tools to them, and if we do this thing right, we feel like we can activate other public hospitals throughout the country to join our conversation.
And encourage people to interact with each other to create their own community-based solutions.
We want to take all this content from the waiting room space that we're going to put into the social media project and incorporate some of that into the film itself.
The film becomes part of something larger. And in this case, you have a documentary film that's inside this very big container, which is new media experimentation, social change, and how it all is amplifying itself. The Producers Institute has completely shaped our project because we came in here at such an early phase.
Just having access to all these creative spirits here has been an incredible experience.
We were hooked up with so many amazing people with incredible ideas, but not just incredible ideas, they were showing us the actual implementation, example after example after example.
This 10 days is going to turn into, probably a lifetime of value for me as a storyteller.